Have you ever wondered, how do you really know if someone with an avoidant partner is faithful to you? Because let's be honest, avoidants often seem distant, quiet, or even detached. They don't always say I love you 10 times a day, they don't flood your phone with messages, and sometimes they even pull back when things get too close. And for many women, that creates doubt. Is he truly loyal to me, or is he already halfway out the door? Here's the truth most people don't realize. Avoidants can be some of the most faithful partners you'll ever meet, but their loyalty doesn't show up in the loud, dramatic ways you might expect. Instead, it shows up in quiet, consistent actions that are easy to miss if you're not looking closely. Think about it. A man can say I love you every single day, but words are easy. What really matters are the subtle things he does when no one's watching. Avoidants may struggle to express emotions verbally, but when they're faithful, their actions reveal everything. So the real question is, if words aren't the proof, then what daily behaviors actually reveal their loyalty? This is why today's video is so important, because once you understand the signs, you'll stop doubting and start recognizing the deep, steady loyalty that an avoidant shows in their own unique way. So if you've ever questioned whether your avoidant partner is truly committed, stay with me. We're about to break down the everyday behaviors that prove an avoidant isn't just staying around. They're faithful, loyal, and choosing you, quietly but powerfully, every single day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you have a partner like this, make sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Your sharing not only boosts our confidence, but also makes this journey even more healing for everyone. Making you feel remembered. When an avoidant is truly faithful, it doesn't always show through grand declarations. Instead, it reveals itself in small repeated habits that prove you're always on their mind. You might notice the way they quietly check in with you. It may be a short message during the day, a simple drive safe before you leave, or even remembering to ask how your presentation went when you never reminded them about it. These check-ins look ordinary, but they're not. They're proof that your world matters to them, even when they don't say much. They also show loyalty by giving you importance in decisions. A faithful avoidant will ask for your opinion when choosing something as simple as what to eat, which movie to watch, or even whether they should take on extra work. It's subtle, but it's their way of saying, your voice counts in my life. According to a study in the Journal of Marriage and Family, couples who involve each other in daily decisions report higher trust and satisfaction. When your avoidant pauses and considers your input, it's a quiet declaration of loyalty. Their care becomes visible in public moments too. They might not be the type to hold your hand dramatically in front of everyone, but they'll do smaller, meaningful things, pulling you gently away from a crowded space, making sure you're comfortable at a gathering, or standing closer to you so you feel safe. These gestures may not look like much to others, but to you they say, I've got you. Loyalty also shows when you're struggling with mood swings. They might not always know what to say when you're upset, but a faithful avoidant won't run. Instead, they'll give you space if you need it, or sit quietly with you until you calm down. Sometimes it's not about fixing your mood, it's about being there while you feel it. As the poet Rumi said, the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. Their silence in these moments isn't absence, it's presence. And then there are the smallest, almost invisible acts, remembering you like extra sugar in your tea, noticing when you're cold and offering their jacket, or wishing you luck before a stressful day. These tiny gestures may not seem like much on the surface, but memory requires effort, and effort is the foundation of faithfulness. Dr. John Gottman's research calls these micro moments the building blocks of trust, showing that loyalty lives in the small details more than in big speeches. So when your avoidant partner remembers to ask about your day, values your input in decisions, quietly protects you in public, or steadies you during mood swings, don't overlook it. These are the real signs of faithfulness, quiet, steady, and repeated over time. And if you feel these small but powerful habits in your own relationship, understand this: he's not just around, he's faithful, deeply loyal, and choosing you in ways louder than words could ever be. Protecting your trust in little things. When someone with an avoidant attachment style is truly faithful, you'll see it most clearly in the way they protect your trust, not with grand speeches, but through the smallest, everyday commitments. They might not say much, but their actions quietly send a message: you can rely on me. It begins with how they handle promises. If they say they'll meet you at a certain time, they show up. If they've told you they'll call, the call happens. It doesn't matter if the promise is big or small, keeping their word is how they prove consistency. Psychologists often point out that reliability is the foundation of security in relationships, and for avoidance, this is where their loyalty shines. By being dependable, they're showing that your trust is valuable, and they refuse to take it lightly. You'll also notice it in the way they avoid games. Faithful avoidants don't play hot and cold just to test you, they don't disappear without explanation, and they don't keep secrets that might shake your confidence. Instead, they stick to routines that feel safe, replying when they can, being upfront if they're busy, and never leaving you guessing about their intentions. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships highlights that couples who practice transparency in daily interactions report higher levels of long-term stability. With an avoidant, that stability shows up as quiet honesty. You may not get flowery explanations, but you get the truth. There's also a subtle way they create safety in ordinary routines. For example, when they make an effort to let you know where they are, even without you asking, it's not control, it's consideration. When they update you about changes in their day, it's a signal that they want you to feel secure, not uncertain. Loyalty is often less about big gestures and more about reducing doubt, and a faithful avoidant understands that. You might notice it in how they guard your confidence. If you've shared something personal, you'll see that it never becomes casual talk with others. They respect your privacy because they know it's tied to your trust. As Brené Brown once said, trust is built in very small moments. When they choose honesty in routine, they're choosing to build that trust brick by brick, and it doesn't stop there. Even in disagreements, a faithful avoidant shows their loyalty by being fair. They won't weaponize your vulnerabilities, and they won't use silence as punishment. Instead, they take space only to calm themselves, and then return with honesty. That return is itself an act of faithfulness. It proves they're committed to working through challenges instead of walking away. So when you notice these patterns, the kept promises, the absence of hidden games, the transparency in routines, and the respect for your private world, don't underestimate them. These are not small things. They are the strongest proof that your avoidant partner is protecting your trust. And if you feel this in your relationship, then know they're not just present, they're faithful, deeply loyal, and honoring your bond in the quietest but most powerful ways. Giving you space but never absence. When an avoidant is truly faithful, one of the most meaningful signs is how they give you space while still making sure you never feel alone. Unlike people who confuse love with constant closeness, a loyal avoidant understands that independence and connection can exist side by side. They don't cling, but they don't vanish either. Their faithfulness shows up in the delicate balance they maintain between respecting your freedom and staying emotionally present. You can see it in the way they encourage you to pursue your own world. If you want to spend time with friends, take a solo trip, or simply enjoy a quiet evening by yourself, they won't hold it against you. Instead of guilt, you get support. They don't ask, "Why don't you want to be with me?" but rather, "I hope you enjoy it." That difference is huge. It shows security instead of control. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology reveals that partners who support each other's autonomy actually build stronger, longer-lasting relationships. By allowing you space, your avoidant isn't detaching, they're proving they trust you and the bond you share. At the same time, they make sure you don't mistake space for absence. Even if you're apart, they'll leave little reminders that they're still connected. Maybe it's a quick message before you sleep, or checking in during a busy day just to let you know you're on their mind. These small touches are their way of keeping the thread of closeness alive, even when you're not physically together. Their loyalty also shows in the way they respect your individuality. They don't try to change your interests, dismiss your hobbies, or mold you into their version of ideal. Instead, they quietly cheer you on, even when your path doesn't include them directly. If you have a new project, they'll ask how it's going. If you're trying to improve yourself, they'll give you the room to grow without interference. As Khalil Gibran beautifully wrote, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." A faithful avoidant seems to embody this wisdom. They allow room for distance, but keep the dance of connection alive. This balance becomes most visible during challenges. If you're upset and need time alone, they respect that boundary, but they don't withdraw completely. You may find them nearby, not demanding attention but making sure you know they're available when you're ready. That quiet steadiness says more than any loud reassurance ever could. So when your avoidant partner encourages your independence, supports your personal world, and still finds small ways to remind you that you're never truly alone, don't overlook it. These are the invisible threads of loyalty that hold a relationship together. If you feel that balance, freedom paired with presence, understand this: they're not just letting you breathe, they're faithful, committed, and choosing to love you in a way that honors both closeness and space. Choosing you in daily priorities. When an avoidant is truly faithful, you'll notice it in the way they choose you quietly, through daily priorities. It's not about dramatic declarations or constant words, but about how their time, effort, and decisions show that you matter. Even in the busyness of life, their actions reveal where their heart belongs. Picture this: after a long day, they might have every reason to zone out or retreat into their own world, but instead they make space for you. It could be something as simple as sitting with you while you eat, putting down their phone to actually listen, or adjusting their schedule to spend an evening together. These choices may feel small, but they carry weight. They're silent but strong reminders that in a world full of distractions, you are their anchor. Another way this shows up is when they prioritize your comfort without making a show of it. For instance, if they know you've had a stressful day, they'll quietly rearrange their plans to give you rest or offer to handle a small responsibility so you don't have to. They don't announce it, they just do it. According to research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, everyday sacrifices, even small ones, significantly increase a partner's sense of security and trust. Faithful avoidants prove loyalty, not with words, but with these unspoken acts of putting you first. You also notice their faithfulness in how they balance personal needs with the relationship. They don't erase themselves, but when important choices come up, like whether to stay late at work unnecessarily or to join you for a family gathering, they often lean toward what strengthens your bond. These are not grand gestures but conscious decisions, signaling that your presence in their life matters more than convenience. And sometimes the proof is in the little interruptions they welcome. When you call, they answer, even if briefly. When you need them, they show up, even if it means reshuffling something else. Their loyalty becomes visible in how they weave you into the rhythm of their day, not as an obligation, but as a priority. As Stephen Covey once said, you have to decide what your highest priorities are, and have the courage to say no to other things. A faithful avoidant shows courage by saying no to distractions and yes to you. Even in moments when you're apart, their choices reflect commitment. They remember to check in, not because they must, but because they want to. They bring something back from the store that reminded them of you, or they save a piece of their day just to share it with you later. These little decisions speak volumes. They are choosing you, even in silence. So if you notice your avoidant partner making space for you in their schedule, sacrificing convenience for your comfort, or shaping daily choices with you in mind, don't dismiss it. These are the strongest signs of faithfulness, actions louder than any words. If you feel this presence in your life, know this: they're not just near you, they're loyal, committed, and choosing you, again and again, in the priorities of every single day. At the end of the day, faithfulness in an avoidant partner doesn't look like loud promises, endless words, or dramatic displays of love. It looks like the quiet, consistent actions that build trust one moment at a time. From making you feel remembered, to protecting your trust in small ways, from giving you space but never leaving you alone, to choosing you in their daily priorities. These are the habits that reveal a deeper kind of loyalty. It's easy to doubt when someone doesn't express love in the ways you might expect. Many women ask themselves, if he doesn't say it all the time, does he really mean it? But as we've seen, the truth lies not in repetition of words but in the reliability of actions. Faithful avoidants prove love not by being the loudest, but by being the most consistent. They may not shout it, but they show it every single day through the way they move around you, the way they remember details, and the way they quietly protect the bond you share. Think of it like this: grand gestures can be exciting, but they fade quickly. What lasts is the partner who checks in, respects your space, stands by you in public, and keeps choosing you in private. That's the kind of loyalty you can build a life on. So if you recognize these signs in your own relationship, don't overlook them. Don't mistake silence for absence or subtlety for indifference. If you feel remembered, protected, respected, and chosen, then understand this: your avoidant partner is not only present, they are faithful, deeply loyal, and walking beside you in the most real way possible. And that kind of faithfulness, though quiet, is the most powerful of all.